So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing MK Dons versus Bradford City, and then in the second part of today's video, I'm going to bring you guys my Game Week 15 League 2 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get a comment as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match. What would your starting 11 be as well? We're obviously going to have to make changes with both Richie Smallwood and Jamie Walker banned for this match. They've accumulated 5 yellow cards throughout the league season so far, so they're both going to be banned. That leaves us with one central midfielder available at the moment in Alex Gilliard, so it's not exactly ideal. I think I am right in saying though that MK Dons haven't won a football match since August now. At the start of the season, before the season even started, I did a video predicting which managers do I think will be sacked during this season. Graham Alexander at MK Dons was one of them who I did predict to be sacked. I didn't think it'd be this early, but I knew because of the expectations at MK Dons, I didn't think he was the type of manager to be able to turn that around. So make sure to drop a like on there for me, subscribe if you're new as well, and let's get into it. Starting out then with the current Sky Bet League 2 table, my team Bradford City, we currently sit 11th in the table. After 14 matches, we've got 5 wins, 5 draws and 4 defeats, scoring 15 goals and conceding 15 goals, leaving us on a 0 goal difference and 20 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a draw, a win, a loss and a loss. Then last couple of matches then been a 1-1 draw at home to Wrexham, a 1-0 win away at AFC Wimbledon, a 2-1 win away at Grimsby Town in the Football League Trophy, a 1-0 win at home to Swindon Town, a 2-1 defeat away at Tranmere Rovers, and a 3-1 defeat at home to Walsall FC. If we compare that then to MK Dons, they currently sit down in 18th in the table. After 14 matches, they've picked up 4 wins, 4 draws and 6 defeats, scoring 19 goals and conceding at 21. That leaves them then on a -2 goal difference and 16 points. So just 4 points away from us, but the league table is very close at this moment in time. The last 5 matches though have been a loss, a draw, a loss, a draw and a loss. Then last couple of matches then been a 1-0 defeat away at Accrington Stanley, a 2-2 draw at home to Barrow AFC, a 2-1 defeat away at Gillingham, a 0-0 draw away at Walsall FC and a 1-0 defeat at home to Harrogate Town. They seem to draw a lot of games at home and lose away from home a lot of the time so far this season, especially recently, so I could certainly see a draw in this one. I think we're more than good enough though to get the 3 points. It looks increasingly likely that Kevin McDonald will be in charge once more. There's strong rumours that Carl Robinson has turned down the Bradford City job, which is quite a good thing. I think if I'm being honest, he's not certainly someone who I wanted at the football club, but now we're going to get into the team though that I would go with if I was Kevin McDonald. Now the formation for this game I think is probably going to be quite interesting because we only have one holding midfielder available. I've gone with a 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder and 2 number 8s. Now the 2 players I've put in there and not really central midfielders, but I think if you put 3 in there, then it could kind of work. But our real lack of options in there at the moment are kind of costing us, and obviously one of our options is currently managing the football club. If McDonald does play in this one, and Richie Smallwood is on the sidelines managing it, because I think Smallwood would technically be able to manage the game, but I don't really know what's going to go on in this one. It'll be crazy to see what the starting lineup does eventually look like, but I've gone with a 4-3-3. In goal, I've gone with Harry Lewis. Now, there is certainly question marks over whether he could do better with Wrexham's goal on Saturday. I think there's about 4 different mistakes from different players in that build-up to their goal, and I think Lewis, the header is straight at him. It's a little bit high, and I'm not going to say it's one of them like the Tranmere first goal where he should definitely save it, but I think he could maybe do a little bit better. They only had 1 shot on target though all game. They didn't really trouble him all too much, but he's still the best goalkeeper at the football club. Into the back 4 then, at right back I've gone with Brad Halliday. Now I've given him a lot of praise so far this season. Against Wrexham I thought he was fairly average, didn't really do anything stand out, and he was one of them other people who were at fault for Wrexham's goal. Paul Mullin just leans on him far too easily. Halliday doesn't really challenge to clear the ball, but he's obviously been brilliant for us so far this season, so I've got to stick with him at right back. Into the 2 centre backs then, firstly I've gone with Jonathan Tompkinson. Now obviously Matty Platt was suspended for the last game, Ash Taylor came in, and I thought on the whole he didn't do too bad, but it was more of a stopgap for one game. I really hope that isn't a long-term thing, especially when you're going somewhere like an MK Dons where they don't have that big physical striker. They've got a lot of pace in like Leko and Issa, so we're going to need to have some speed at the back, and that's why I'm going with Jonathan Tompkinson. Obviously, he's only played like 5 minutes in a Bradford City shirt. He wasn't even involved in the matchday squad against Wrexham, but we're going to need some pace in there. If it's not Tompkinson, it has to be Platt. Ash Taylor can't start this game. As much as he was okay in that one against Wrexham. You've got to be playing your best players, and for me personally, I don't think Ash Taylor is in that at the moment, and partnering him, I've gone with Sam Stubbs. If Stubbs is fit, Stubbs has to play. Absolutely brilliant for us. There's not really much you can say about Sam Stubbs apart from the fact he's absolutely brilliant. And at left back then, completing my back four, I've gone with Lewis Richards. Now, Liam Rydalk hasn't been too bad in the games that he has filled in for, but I think now is the time to bring Richards back in, because obviously Rydalk can't really play Saturday. He gets very tired then by the second game, so never mind playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. And Rydalk was, I think, certainly someone who I'm questioning over the Wrexham goal. You know, it's another ball that's come into our box pretty much unchallenged because he has failed to stop the cross in there. And while I don't think he's been too bad on the whole, it's them sort of mistakes. And like I said, there was other players to blame, and I'm definitely not, saying this was all Rydalk's fault, but he needs to be doing a lot better than closing down that cross. And Richards, for me, while he didn't exactly impress in his most recent performance against Grimsby, I'd like to see him come back in for this match. Into my three midfielders then. At first, I've obviously gone with Alex Gilead, the only midfield option available at the moment, and he was my personal man of the match on Saturday. I thought he had a really, really good game. Kept Elliot Lee absolutely silent all game. I can't really think of anything Elliot Lee did, and that's all down to Gilead. He had an absolutely fantastic game. So obviously, not only because he was good on Saturday, he's our only midfield option, so he absolutely has to play. Also in there, firstly, I've gone with Bobby Poynton. Now, I think it's certainly a position that he can play. When we were playing the five at the back, there was a few occasions where he'd play in that central midfield position. He more played in like the two behind the striker, but he could definitely play in a three-man midfield, in my opinion. He's very intelligent, he's very smart with his play, and I think it could certainly work in there. And finally, I've gone with Emmanuel Osadibe in that midfield. I think them three are your best options at this moment in time, and Osadibe definitely sees himself more as a number 8. He said a number of times now, and I thought Osadibe actually had quite a poor game against Wrexham, didn't really get involved all too much when he did, wasn't exactly influential, and I thought it was the right decision to sub him off. But Osadibe, I think in the midfield, that's the position he wants to play, so let him play in that and see what he can come up with. It could quite easily be a 4-2-3-1 with Gilead and Osadibe as your holding midfielders, maybe Bobby Poynton in that number 10 position, but as of right now, I'm going with the midfield three of Gilead, Poynton and Osadibe. Let me know down in the comment section down below, do you agree with that midfield? And before we get into my front three, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get your score prediction and your starting 11 down in the comment section down below. On the right wing, I've gone with Adam Wilson, the goal scorer in the last match. He came on off the bench, and it's another player who's come on off the bench under Kevin McDonald and provided an impact for us. How many times have we seen it recently where the substitute comes on and the substitute ends up scoring at the match winner? Wilson deserves to come back into the side in this match, and obviously with us playing Poynton and Osadibe a little bit deeper, it means you're going to need to bring in some more attackers. It is a very offensive team, but because of our lack of midfield options, it's kind of forced our hand. But Wilson, for me, I like to see him get another opportunity in this one. Leading the line, I've gone with Andy Cook. Now, I thought he wasn't exactly great against Wrexham. We gave him a red box in yesterday's 6 Things That We Learned video. If you've not already checked that out, make sure to go do so. But I don't think he really suits Kevin McDonald's style of play, but he's obviously our best option at the moment with no Lydon Oliver. Tyler Smith hasn't exactly impressed so far, and Matt Derbyshire's still currently on the coaching team. But Cook, I really hope he can play himself back into form, because I absolutely love the man. It's just right now, again, he seems to be in a little bit of a sticky patch. And on that left wing, I've gone with Rayhan Tulloch. Now, we know there's a good player in there. Can we get it a little bit more consistently? Obviously, came on off the bench and had a decent impact against Wrexham. I do think he is a good player, not quite on the standard of maybe a Tyreek Wright or a Scott Banks, but he is still a pretty decent player. So I'd like to see him come back into the side and get another opportunity in this one. On the bench then, for me, we're a little bit light on numbers at the moment. I've gone with Colin Doyle, Daniel Ugoke, Matty Platt, Freddie Jeffries, who I thought looked pretty decent in that EFL Trophy match, and we need some sort of other midfield option in case someone like a Gilead comes off, and he looked tidy in that match, so why not? Clark Adore, Harry Chapman, who was back involved in the pre-training before the match on Saturday, so I feel like if he's involved in that, then why not just stick him on the bench? You don't have to bring him on, but he is a pretty decent option to have if you do need to bring him on. And also Tyler Smith. The player is currently unavailable, Richie Smallwood through suspension, Alex Patterson through injury, Jamie Walker through suspension, and Lydon Oliver also through injury. The players then who would miss out through selection would be Heath Richardson, Harvey Rowe, Ash Taylor, Kieran Kelly, Liam Rydalk, Dylan Yumby, Kevin McDonald, Chisholm Afoka, and Matt Derbyshire. Now let's get into my Game Week 15 League 2 score predictions. Starting out then with AFC Wimbledon versus Accrington Stanley. There was some crazy drama on social media, especially Twitter, over the last couple of days coming out of Accrington Stanley, where their manager and assistant manager went to the local radio and basically said they want new contracts. Then their chairman has basically put the club up for sale on what used to be Twitter, now X, because he didn't agree with them going to the media about it. So crazy stuff going on at Accrington Stanley at the moment. I think that one though does finish in a 2-0 home win for AFC Wimbledon. Crewe Alexandra versus Stockport County I think finishes in a shock 1-0 home win for Crewe. I say shock, they've had a very good start to the season. Doncaster Rovers versus Salford City I think finishes in a 2-1 home win for Grant McCann's side. Forest Green Rovers versus Barrow AFC I think finishes in a 2-0 away win for the Bluebirds. Grimsby Town versus Colchester United I think finishes in a 1-1 draw. Harrogate Town versus Mansfield Town I think finishes in a scrappy 2-1 away win for the Stags. MK Dons versus Bradford City I think finishes in a 2-1 away win for the Bantams. Morecambe FC versus Tranmere Rovers I think finishes in a 3-1 home win for the Shrimps. Notts County versus Newport County I think finishes in a 3-1 home win to Nottingham County? Notts County. Swindon Town versus Gillingham FC I think finishes in a 2-2 draw. Walsall FC versus Crawley Town I think finishes in a 0-0 draw. And then finally Wrexham AFC versus Sutton United. I think this is the most goals I've ever predicted in a game. I'm going with a 6-2 home win for Wrexham. I think there'll be a lot of goals in that one. But I am going to leave it there for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get a comment as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match and what would your starting 11 be as well. How many changes would you make from Saturday's team? Thank you all very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you all tomorrow, probably like Wednesday morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning for the match day vlog. Peace.